Oi! Shh! Shh! Over here! Yeah, it's me. Look, I thought I'd have a little quiet word with you first, yeah? Last week, at the end of our report, 6942 had a total fit. I mean, could you hear that screaming? Ooh. So he was catatonic for the most of the early part of last week. I mean, I had to take over the human host's body. You know? Which actually wasn't a bad thing, because me and him had a bit of fun. Ooh. But never mind about that. Now, I don't know what you did to him, but it looks like he's starting to regain his memory. And it's difficult for him, to say the least. So, I won't push, mainly because I don't think my eardrums can stand it anymore. And if you care about 6942, I wouldn't interfere with this. Because at the end of the day, we're going to find out what's been going on. And anyway, there's nothing to stop us dropping little hints to your boss. Yeah. He looks like he's coming through.
Oh. You're here already.
How you doing, buddy?
The human host doesn't like being called buddy because it's very condescending. And I tend to agree.
Sorry, buddy. Oh, I mean, mate. Do you want to start?
Yes. Okay then, but I want to ask you a question first, because I've lost a few days at the beginning of the week, and I assume you've been working with...
Possessing?
The human host. But for some reason, a load of leather clothes have appeared that the human host can't afford, and the human host body feels very, very tired, and for some reason, this bit of the human host body is very, very sore. So what have you been doing with him?
Oh, nothing that the human host didn't want to do in the first place. I mean, that's what we evil beings do, don't we? We allow humans to explore their real emotions, real wants, real needs, without the constraints and rules and morals that some humans set up for other humans to control them. I mean, I would call it religion, but they moved beyond that, haven't they?
Okay, but where did he get the money from to buy the clothes? I mean, where does he get the money from to pay the rent and buy all the food? Because he doesn't have a job anymore, and he's not on any benefits.
From gambling. You see, I've been taking him to the casino for months now, and I've been using my little talent to push the odds our way. I mean, what's the point of having a power if you don't use it? And casinos are such fun places. I mean, you play big enough, they give you free drinks and free food and even little gifts.
Oh, so that's where that big dragon bottle came from?
Yep.
Okay, so what about those things and bottles of alcohol that appeared in the kitchen and suddenly disappeared?
Well, I had to raise money for the steak somehow, didn't I? So, I used my powers to persuade some people to sell the human host some goods at a discount which you could sell at a profit. So, do you want to go ahead and start?
Okay then. Angel-6942 calling in. Angel-6942 calling in. Angel-6942 calling in. The date in human years is Friday, the 5th of November 2021. And for some reason, I've blacked out for most of the beginning of the week. But I think you've met Demon Doris, who seems to be inhabiting the human host at the same time as I am. So as he has been in control for most of the week, I thought that he should give in the report.
What? Well, nothing's really happened this week, has it? I mean, most of the leaders of the Lemmings went to Scotland to discuss climate change.
Yes, that's the situation where the humans feel that they are threatening the planet from pollution by driving cars and flying planes and eating meat.
And the leaders were so concerned that they all flew to Glasgow in their private jets and got driven with their security in their private cars and then tucked in to hamburgers, haggis and fish and chips.
But there were vegan options.
Meanwhile, Greta and her gang were outside protesting about climate change. You know, the reason why everybody flew to Glasgow in the first place.
But you must admit she has made global warming such a high-profile issue that a lot of people are talking about it and taking notice.
Yeah, so much so that big organisations and shops are using climate change to sell more stuff. You know, buy something from Amazon and help save the planet.
Oh, and Insulate Britain has protested again this week outside Parliament.
Oi! Who's doing this report? Yeah, they have protested outside Parliament, but I think the MPs had bigger things to worry about.
Yes, an MP called Owen got into trouble this week for lobbying in Parliament.
I give up! It's called lobbying. That's where MPs take money to ask questions, or in this case, give contracts.
And he was found guilty and was about to be sentenced. But then the government decided to change their mind and change the topic. So they wanted to take a vote about how the committees that look into the MPs' doing and conducts work. I don't know why.
Well, that's because for many years, the MPs felt that the whole process was unfair. I mean, the committee is made up of other MPs from all different parties who are not legally trained. And they are the judge, jury and investigators of the whole process. And they do not have to look at all the evidence. And MPs cannot defend themselves or ask questions or even appeal the decision. I mean, it sounds a bit like Salem. Yeah. Those were good old days, weren't they? Good old witch burning. It had nothing to do with us, though. I mean, they were just innocent people that other humans didn't like. Yeah, and saying that, I mean, a lot of MPs are worried that, you know, even though the committee is made up of different parties, some of the MPs may have a political agenda and sort of deliberately find against the other MP. I mean, so say if the person is a Brexiter and they're all Remainers and they just want to get him, you know. So it isn't that fair, is it? But anyway. And MPs felt that this put a lot of emotional pressure on him. And Owen said that it may have contributed, he said that he felt that it contributed to the suicide of his wife.
And he's gained a lot of sympathy about this because when Bojo mentioned about Owen's family loss in Parliament, a lot of MPs from the opposition went, oh.
Yeah. Well, I think it's debatable what actually happened. But at the end of the day, the government won the vote. There was such a backlash that they had to do a U-turn. Owen resigned. Which only goes to show that the Lemmings are more worried about how things look. Speaking of which, there's a primary school in Scotland that has decided to make all their boys wear skirts for a day in solidarity with the transgender community. And they said that if the boys didn't have any skirts at home, they would provide parents with one. That's so nice, isn't it?
But how's that going to help more than having lessons where they discuss how they should treat people respectfully, no matter what other people wear or what other people look like?
I don't know. But supporters of the move said that it's not a gimmick and that any parents who object to the move should have a good look at their bigoted selves. But at the end of the day, the school said that the boys don't have to do it if they don't want to. I mean, I suppose it gives the boys that do wear the skirts the experience of being
Boys.
bullied and laughed at by the boys
Boys.
that don't.
Bullies. 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 Laughing.
Again.
Laughing.
6942. 6942. 6942.
I hate children! They're horrible! They're bullies! They laugh at you! They're horrible! I hate children! I hate children! I don't like being around children! I hate children!
Yeah,
I
we'll get
really
back to you
hate
next week.
children! I hate children! Children are horrible! I hate children! I hate children! They're horrible, horrible people! I